All right, today I'm going to be explaining the answers for test 2 in our 7th hour reading program. The first thing that you need to pay attention to is the italicized introduction, because it's that introduction that tells you who the players are. The first speaker is a guy named Catiline who lost an election for the Senate in ancient Rome, and he decides he wants to try to take over or overthrow the winners. The second passage is by a guy named Cicero, who won the election and knows that there's an attack coming and his people are preparing. So you have to understand that before you start. Question number 10 asks, which of the following best describes the contrast between the portrayal of Catiline in passage 1 and that in passage 2, which would be Cicero? If you look at letter A, the first one is true, but the second one is false. That is not a true statement. In the second one, B, the first one is false and the second one is true. It isn't until you get to C. Passage 1 portrays him as a liberator. That is a true statement. And passage 2 portrays him as corrupt and dangerous. That is true. If you look over in the second paragraph, he says, we assert our claim to liberty. That is Catiline speaking. For Cicero's side, he just talks about how no one's on your side, everyone hates you. And then down at the bottom at line 65, he talks about temptations of your corruption. So clearly C is discussed really well in both of them. On D, some of those things could be inferred, but C is a much better answer. All right, for number 11, Catiline's question, which is, O bravest man, how long will you submit? That is what we call a rhetorical question. He's not expecting a serious answer. He begins before that talking about their enemies' influence, power, honor, wealth. It's all in their hands, and they've left us only insults, dangers, persecutions, and poverty. The question is, how long are we going to put up with this? Your best answer is C. That's the one that's going to work the most effectively. All right, for question number 12, the speaker in the passage advances which of the following reasons for his belief that the rebellion he urges will succeed? And your best answer is B. A is not said at all, C is not said at all, and D is not said at all. In passage 1, 2, 3 paragraphs down, about line 20, he says, our years are fresh, our spirit is unbroken. Among our oppressors, on the contrary, through age and wealth, a general debility has been produced. It's their age and their wealth. They're fat and they're happy, and a debility has been produced, which means they're disabled. If you don't know what debility means, that could be an issue for you in your understanding. All right, question number 13. What of the speakers in passage 2, or what is the speaker in passage 2 referring to when he talks about the countenances of this venerable body? If you look over in the first paragraph, about midway down, it says, do not the looks and countenances of this venerable body here present have any effect upon you? It means faces. And if you know what countenances mean, that's an easy one. And if you don't, you can figure it out from the context, especially with the word looks and countenances. All right, for number 14, the measure listed by the orator in lines 2, in passage 2, lines 36 through 44. Your best answer is A. He is trying to demonstrate that the city has opposed itself to Catiline's conspiracy. And if you take a look, they know it's coming. The introduction told you he knew it was coming, that he killed 5 of the conspirators, had them executed. It talks about nightly guards, alarm of the people, union of all good men, precaution taken of assembling the Senate in this most defensible position. The idea is they know he's coming and they're ready. There's no evidence for B. For C, the people already know, so he's not trying to alarm the people. And there's really no attempt at D. He just wants him to leave and be done with it. All right, for question 15, it can be inferred from the passage that the orator in passage 2 chooses not to call for Catiline's execution because, and for A, we know that's not true because he's already killed some people. B, that one is not stated. I put a question mark next to it because it could be inferred. But C, we don't know. He fears Catiline's death could anger the Senate. We have no evidence of that. But D works really well. He believes that an alternative punishment would be more beneficial to the state. He says that if I order you to be put to death, the rest of the conspirators will remain in the republic. If you depart, your companions will be drawn out from the city too. So by banishing Catiline, all of his supporters will go with him. They won't stay behind. And that's kind of a double win. So D is your best answer. All right, for number 16, the question, which choice provides the best evidence for answers in the previous question? And your best answer is C. And again, it really is the same part that I just read for you, where he says, I don't advise you leaving, or I advise you leaving, I'm not going to demand it, but it would be better for everybody if you did. All right, for number 17, in line 59, afford most nearly means to provide, D. And that is just a vocab understanding. For what is there, O Catiline, that can now afford you any pleasure in this city? Can now provide you any pleasure in this city. He's just basically saying everybody's pretty much turned against you, so why are you staying? For question number 18, according to the orator in passage 2, the silence in line 75 of the senators indicates which of the following? And your best answer is A. For B, C, and D, we just don't see any of these. We don't have any reason to think that those are the cases. Their silence is discussed in terms of their not acceptance of him. That's part of the reason. I will let you see what these men think. Do you not perceive? Do you not see the silence of these men? The fact that they're silent means they don't approve. All right, for number 19, the orator in passage 1 would most likely respond to the accusation in passage 2, you are summoning all of Italy. Now this asks you to think what the man would say in response. So Cicero says, you are summoning to destruction and devastation the temples of the immortal gods, the houses of the cities, the lives of the citizens, in short, all of Italy. You're going to bring ruin on all of Italy. That seems to be the argument that Cicero is making. They're asking you, what would Catiline say in response? And your best answer is B. Given what he says over here, he believes that the people should stand up for their rights, insisting on the right of citizens to arm themselves against oppressive rulers. Sometimes violence and destruction is what it's going to take. You're just going to have to figure that one out. There's no one place that you can find that answer. You just kind of have to understand what the point of view of the person is that's making the statement. Which best describes the society suggested by both speeches? And A is your best answer. This is pretty much true in both of them. There is an uneasy society contemplating its current political situation. For B, that's in one only. The second one doesn't acknowledge that. For C, 2 does not agree with that. 2, in fact, says that that is not true in one of the paragraphs. And for D, a society on the verge of sweeping political change, we can't tell. Number 2 doesn't want any change. We don't know where this is going, and certainly 2 doesn't predict this. But the one that both of them predict adequately would be A. This is a very hard test. Probably would have taken you more than 12 minutes, but hope you did well, and keep working hard.